Hello, New York City Council. My name is Adee, and I have a proposition. It came to my attention that 90% of New York City's energy consumption comes from fossil fuels. Now, obviously, fossil fuels are not great, but I get it, guys. Trying to use renewable energy systems is super expensive, especially when fossil fuels are both cheap and reliable. It's really quite the pickle. Well, luckily for you guys, I was born, and my genius graces you with a great fix to this dilemma. Hamster wheels. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's stupid. New York City has 8 million people, and you want to power the whole thing with a bunch of hamster wheels? Yes. Alright, well first I gotta figure out if this whole thing is even possible. Through some research, I found out hamsters create about 500 milliwatts of power when they run. And by using this YouTube video, which measured the amount of time that this hamster ran for a week, we can assume that the average hamster runs about 4 hours every day. So by multiplying 500 milliwatts by the 4 hours that a hamster runs, we get a total annual production of 730 watt hours. Okay, how much energy does New York City use in a year? Oh. Okay. Alright, that does seem like a lot of energy, but that was to be expected. It's still pretty reasonable, okay? Here, let me just divide the total energy of New York City by the annual output of a hamster, and oh look, we'll only need 66 billion hamsters.
Did you check the numbers before you got here?
What? Yeah, yes, of course I did. Look, just throw a couple million hamsters in a warehouse, sprinkle around some Viagra, play some romantic music. You'll probably have this many hamsters in no time, okay? Nothing to worry about. Alright, now that we've covered that this is possible, I'll go over the costs. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the price tag is a little high, but think of this like an investment, okay? Like Dogecoin. So first, let's cover water. A hamster drinks about 10 milliliters of water for every 100 grams of body weight. By doing some simple math, we find we have an annual need for this many liters of water. Tap water costs $4.81 for every 100 cubic feet in New York City. So by doing some more math magic with the help of my really smart friend, I was able to figure out the annual water bill will be around $414 million. Okay, that sounds bad, but keep in mind New York City already spends $960 million on energy. So far, we're still in budget. Next, we got to cover food. Hamsters, on average, burn about 28 calories for every 100 grams of body weight. And when I searched online, it seemed the cheapest food to keep a hamster alive is compound pellet rations. And this 50-pound bag of compound pellet rations was $33.50, with every pound of the stuff packing 2,000 calories, which means just this one bag is 100,000 calories, which is a lot. That's enough to feed a whole human for 2 months, you know, if a human ate whatever the hell is in this stuff. Anyway, after crunching the numbers, I calculated to feed these many hamsters for a year, you'll need only 6 billion bags. Okay, it's 6 billion bags, it's a lot. But let's say since we're buying in bulk, and that's really an understatement, we get these bags at $25. That would lead to a price tag of $168 billion, which is, you know, okay, it's kind of a lot, I'm not gonna lie, but it only gets better from here, guys. Cause next, we gotta talk about hamster wheels. With 66 billion hamsters, you're gonna need 66 billion hamster wheels. And with the cheapest one on Amazon I could find, being $8.95, we as a city would only have to spend a measly $590 billion. Guys, it's fine, I'm gonna use Amazon Prime, so we won't have to pay shipping.
$590 billion? We don't have $590 billion.
Okay, I won't lie. I did more calculations for this hypothetical, but obviously hamsters are not a viable choice for green energy. Well guys, it seems like my grand plan for having hamsters power New York was a bit of a bust. But you know what? I still have one ace up my sleeve. Because while hamsters might not be viable, there is another species which fits my profile. That's right, I'm talking about humans. What if instead of having hamsters power New York, we just had humans run on human-sized hamster wheels and then they powered New York? While hamsters can only output a measly 0.5 watts, a human outputs about 350 watts with moderate activity like jogging. On top of that, those lazy ass hamsters were only going to put in 4 hours a day, and we need to pump these numbers up. So let's say every human we employ can run 10 hours every single day. Well, that would bring our annual output for every human to 1.28 million watt hours. And by multiplying that by New York City's energy needs, we find we'll only need 38 million humans to power New York. I wonder where you can find 38 million people. Oh look, California's population is 39 million. What a coincidence, guys. Okay, now that we have that covered, let's talk about water. A human drinks about an average of 3.22 liters a day. And by inputting inputting that into the same calculations I did with the hamsters, we got a total of $77 million for the year. Pretty modest overall. Next, we need to cover food. I was trying to think of a place which has to feed a lot of people while cutting as many costs as possible. And then it hit me. Prison. An American prisoner's annual meal will cover about 2,500 to 3,000 calories. And will do all that while only costing $3. Now, I don't know how they managed to fit that much food for that cheap. You can't even get a McFlurry for that price. I'm not even sure if I want to know, but whatever. The Californians will be fed, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. By multiplying the 38 million people by the $3 it will take to feed them by the 365 days in a year, we get a total price of $41 billion. Alright, food's covered, water's covered. Now we gotta discuss human hamster wheels. Unfortunately, Amazon does not sell human hamster wheels, but luckily for me, this really underrated YouTuber made a human hamster wheel. And from watching this video where he said he used 400 pounds of wood, and assuming he used about 200 screws, I divided that 400 pounds by the average density, which gave me the volume, and then by dividing that by the volume of a tube, I found that you would need about $95 worth of wood. Let's throw in another $50 for the screws, $15 for steel pipes, and another $5 for miscellaneous stuff I'm forgetting. And with all that, we can assume that the average human hamster wheel costs about $150 to make, or about $6 billion to get every Californian their hamster wheel. Finally, we gotta talk about the money spent paying wages to the Californians for their hard work. We will not be paying them. So after tallying all these costs, we are left with a total price of $48 billion. Okay, that is
what the fuck are you talking about? Security.
Spending on energy right now. Just a $48 billion.
Security.
Hey, get your hands off of me. Wait, no, guys, hear me out. Guys, this is the future, guys.